Hello and welcome to Elections 101 in 5, brought to you by Yaga Africa and supported by UNDP. I am Samson Itodo. Today's topic centers on key INEC staff and their duties on election day. How much do we know about these personnel? We asked on the streets, and these are the responses we got.
A presiding officer has so many roles to play during an election.
Okay, first of all, I don't know that one.
We have the INEC commissioner as stipulated for states, and we have the INEC officials who go down to the polling booth within the local government.
So there are different categories of election officials on election day that perform different roles. Now let's look at some of them as well as the roles that they perform. So one, we have the presiding officer. This individual is in charge of all the activities at the polling unit on election day. This includes the polling, sorting, counting of votes, as well as the announcement of results. He or she, and that's the presiding officer, issues the ballot paper to voters and ensures that voters deposit the thumb-printed ballot paper into the appropriate ballot box. Now, the assistant presiding officer 2, the APO 2, among other things, confirms that the voters' details on the PVC are contained in the voters' register and then ticks the appropriate box by the voter's name before the voter proceeds to vote. Now, he or she is also responsible for applying the indelible ink on the thumb of the voter, indicating that individual has voted. Now, as Assistant Presiding Officer 3 is the queue controller. They ensure that the queues are in an orderly manner and, where necessary, arrange separate queues for men and women, or in cases where there are aged or elderly voters and persons living with disability. And then you have the supervisory presiding officer, who supervises the conduct of elections in a cluster of polling units or at the ward, because the ward level requires a level of supervision. And so the supervisory presiding officers supervise the conduct of elections at the ward level. And then there's the resident electoral commissioner. The resident electoral commissioner, otherwise known as the REC, is responsible for the conduct and supervision of the elections in the states as well as in the Federal Capital Territory. The REC takes delivery of all sensitive and non-sensitive materials from INEC headquarters or from any other location and distributes them to the electoral officers in the state. They also supervise the recruitment and training of staff for elections. Next is the returning officer, who collates and announces the scores of the candidates. He also declares the winner in an election in a particular constituency or for the state or governorship or presidential elections. And then we have the collation officers. Collation officers are responsible for tabulating and summing up the scores of each political party and candidate during an election. There are collation officers for each level of results collation. So these are the officials of INEC that are responsible for the conduct of elections, and it's important to know these functions and also these individuals. And that's Elections 101 in 5. And now you know the key INEC staff and their duties on election day. It's important to keep an eye on how they perform these functions on election day. If you have any questions or topics you want us to treat, please feel free to reach out to us. We're here for you any day, anytime, using the handles and the addresses displayed on your screen. You can also watch this episode and previous episode on our YouTube channel, Yaga Africa TV. Thank you for watching. I am Samson Itodo, and remember, your vote can make a significant difference in the 2023 election. So please vote wisely. See you next time, and bye for now.